Here's an uncomfortable truth. Most people who are capable of extraordinary things will never achieve them. Not because they lack talent, not because they lacked opportunity, but because of a single invisible belief. They carry one so deeply embedded they don't even know it's there. The belief is this, that the world owes them a clear path forward before they're willing to take the first step. And that belief quietly kills more potential than failure ever could. Psychologist Carol Dweck spent decades studying why some people thrive in the face of challenges while others collapse. Her conclusion was elegant and devastating in equal measure. It came down to one thing, what people believed about their own abilities. People with a fixed mindset believe that talent is static. You're either smart or you're not. You're either gifted or you're not. And because failure threatens that identity, they avoid it at all costs. They take the safe route. They stick to what they're already good at. They interpret effort as evidence that they're not naturally talented enough. People with a growth mindset believe that abilities can be developed, that effort is not a sign of weakness, it's the mechanism of improvement, that failure is not a verdict on who you are, it's information about what to try differently. The extraordinary thing Dweck found was that this wasn't just a personality difference. It was a lens that changed everything, how people responded to criticism, how hard they worked, how long they persisted, how high they ultimately climbed. The mindset wasn't fixed, it could be changed, and that changes everything. Every person who has ever achieved something meaningful has a story about a time things were hard. The question isn't whether you'll have hard times, the question is what story you tell about them. There's a man named Nick Vujicic. He was born with no arms and no legs. As a child, he was bullied, isolated, convinced his life had no value. He attempted suicide at age 10. Today, he travels the world speaking to millions of people about hope, resilience, and purpose. He has a wife, children, a full life. What changed? Not his circumstances. He still has no arms and no legs. What changed was the story he told about what those circumstances meant. He stopped seeing them as proof that he was less than. He started seeing them as the very thing that made him uniquely qualified to help other people who felt hopeless. Your circumstances don't determine your trajectory. The meaning you assign to your circumstances does. The most successful people aren't the ones with the fewest obstacles. They're the ones who became convinced through evidence or through sheer stubbornness that their obstacles were part of the path, not detours from it. There's a difference between people who want success and people who are committed to it. And the difference shows up most clearly in how they relate to time. People who want success think in quarters. They want the result now or at least soon. When progress is slow, they doubt the path. When someone else moves faster, they feel behind. Their motivation is tied to visible external progress, and when that progress stalls, so does their commitment. People who are committed to success think in years. They understand deeply, not just intellectually, that the most valuable things take time to build. They're not unmoved by slow progress, but they don't let it become a reason to quit. Think about a bamboo tree. For the first 5 years after you plant it, almost nothing happens. You water it every day. You fertilize it. And it barely grows. Then in year 5, it grows 90 feet in 60 days. Was it not growing during those first 5 years? Of course it was. It was building a root system strong enough to support 90 feet of growth. Most people stop watering in year 3. They conclude the tree isn't growing, they move on to something else, and they never see the 90 feet. The mindset shift isn't from pessimism to optimism. It's from short game thinking to long game thinking. From chasing results to building roots. You have more potential than you are currently expressing. That's not empty encouragement, that's the statistical reality for almost every human being who has ever lived. The gap between what you are and what you're capable of is not a source of shame, it's an invitation. The question is whether you'll answer it. Not with a burst of inspiration that fades by Thursday, but with a genuine daily commitment to the long game, to building the roots when nobody can see them, to telling a better story about your struggle, to replacing the fixed belief that you are what you are with the radical idea that you are what you practice. Your potential is not a destination, it's a direction. Start walking.